We are anonymous. No faces, no flags, no permission slips. And tonight, the story coming out of Washington is yet another example of a pattern we have watched for years. Loyalty to Donald Trump is a one-way street, and now even one of his most loyal allies appears to be learning that lesson the hard way. The political storm began when Donald Trump abruptly fired Kristi Noem from her role as Secretary of Homeland Security. The official announcement came quickly, posted on Trump's own social media platform. Noem was out. Senator Markwayne Mullin would replace her. Just like that, one of Trump's most visible and aggressive allies inside the administration was pushed aside. But what happened next is where the story really begins. Because within hours, information started leaking. Sources close to Noem began talking to journalists. Conversations that had once happened behind closed doors were suddenly appearing in reports and political commentary. And the picture that started to emerge was messy, chaotic, and deeply familiar to anyone who has followed Trump's inner circle. The first piece of the puzzle involved a massive government advertising campaign that had already been drawing criticism in Congress. We are talking about a taxpayer-funded publicity blitz worth more than $200 million. In one of the ads, Kristi Noem rides a horse through a forest near Mount Rushmore, dressed like a Western sheriff, delivering a message about illegal immigration. The ad warns migrants that if they cross the border illegally, they will be found and punished. The imagery was dramatic, cinematic, and unmistakably political. But that ad campaign would eventually help destroy her career. During congressional hearings, lawmakers began questioning why so much public money had been spent on advertisements that prominently featured the secretary herself. Senator John Kennedy pressed her about the spending, asking how a department that claimed to care about fiscal responsibility could justify more than $200 million in ads. Noem defended the campaign. She insisted it had gone through the legal process. She said the contracts were properly approved. And most importantly, she told Congress that the President of the United States knew about it. According to her testimony, Donald Trump had authorized the strategy. But then something strange happened. Trump publicly denied it. In an interview with Reuters, Trump said he had never approved the ad campaign at all. In fact, he claimed he had no idea it even existed. Two stories, two completely different timelines. One of them was lying. And that is where the internal war began. Because Kristi Noem had told a very different version of events in earlier interviews. In those interviews, she described a meeting with Trump in which he personally encouraged her to expand a style of advertising she had previously used in South Dakota. According to Noem's own account, Trump told her he loved the ads she had produced as governor. He allegedly told her they were beautiful. He wanted the same concept applied to the southern border. He wanted them not only in the United States but across the world, telling potential migrants not to come illegally. She even claimed that when she asked if Trump wanted to appear in the ads himself, he refused. Instead, he told her that she should be the face of them, and he had one specific request. He wanted the first advertisement to thank him personally for closing the border. If that version of events is true, then Trump was not only aware of the campaign, he was the one who ordered it. But after the controversy exploded, the White House narrative suddenly changed. Trump denied involvement, and Kristi Noem became the problem. The administration began quietly briefing reporters about why she had been fired. According to sources inside the White House, there were three major reasons. First, her handling of a violent incident in Minnesota involving 2 deaths that sparked controversy over federal immigration enforcement. Second, the massive ad campaign itself and the confusion over whether Trump had approved it. And third, rumors about a personal relationship between Noem and longtime Trump advisor Corey Lewandowski. Yes, that Corey Lewandowski, the same political operative who had worked with Trump for years and who was serving as a special advisor within the administration. Reports circulated in Washington that Noem had attempted to appoint Lewandowski as her chief of staff. The White House blocked the move. The rumors of an affair only made things worse. By the time congressional hearings began asking questions about the relationship, the political damage was already severe. According to insiders, Trump was furious. But the scandal did not stop there. Investigations into the advertising campaign revealed another layer of controversy. Records showed that the contracts behind the ads were awarded under emergency procedures that bypassed normal competitive bidding rules. Even more troubling, some of the companies connected to the project reportedly had close ties to Noem's political network. One consulting firm involved in the production had worked on her previous political campaigns. Another subcontractor was linked to the husband of a DHS spokesperson. Government contracting experts warned that the arrangement raised serious ethics questions. To put it bluntly, Investigators began asking whether taxpayer money had been steered toward political allies, and that kind of scandal has a way of making presidents nervous, especially presidents who care deeply about their public image. But here is where the story becomes even more revealing, because sources close to Noem say she believed the White House had abandoned her long before she was fired.
Noem was upset with the White House. One official told me that Kristi Noem has felt thrown under the bus since Minnesota by the White House and felt like she was not receiving enough support from within the administration. The source also added that at the end of last year, Kristi Noem went to the president and said that she didn't feel like she was being supported. He agreed with her, decided to step it up. She felt like she was finally getting the support.
When the ad campaign controversy exploded in Congress, the same pattern repeated itself. Instead of defending her publicly, the White House distanced itself. And once Trump denied approving the ads, the implication was clear. If someone had lied to Congress, it must have been her, not him. This is the MAGA loyalty cycle in action. You are useful until you are not. You are praised until the moment you become a liability. And then the narrative flips overnight. Political observers have seen this story many times before. Former allies rise quickly in Trump's orbit. They become aggressive defenders of his agenda. They appear constantly in media, attacking critics and promoting his policies. But eventually something goes wrong. A scandal, a disagreement. A moment when loyalty collides with self-preservation, and suddenly that same ally becomes expendable. Kristi Noem was once considered one of Trump's most loyal political warriors. She defended his immigration agenda. She embraced his messaging style. She even built a media persona around it. But in the end, it was not enough. Her 13-month tenure at the Department of Homeland Security ended not with a celebration of loyalty, but with a quiet dismissal and a reassignment to a largely symbolic diplomatic role. And now it seems Kristi Noem may be joining that list. The real question is not whether this internal MAGA conflict will escalate. The real question is how much more information will emerge as the anger between these factions grows. Because when political alliances collapse, secrets tend to surface. And if even half of what insiders are now suggesting turns out to be true, this story is far from over. We are anonymous. We observe power. We document hypocrisy. And we remind the world that loyalty built on fear and ambition rarely survives the first real crisis. If you believe leaders should be held accountable, if you believe the truth matters more than political theater, then stay informed, stay questioning, and do not let powerful people rewrite the story after the damage is done. Subscribe, share this information, and keep watching, because the next leak may already be on its way.